Days with My Stepsister is the most relaxing anime this season.
そうなの。
As soon as the first monologue starts, you notice how much different the atmosphere is compared to the usual animes we watch. It's a lot more toned down, which is honestly something I look for in these interpersonal slice of life animes. It makes it feel a lot more grounded, and the dialogues start to have a lot more weight. It's calming. I can listen to Saki and Yuta talk all day. Everything they say comes with a little background of who they are as a person. One you can clearly notice if Saki is the one talking, but more on that later. How this show's been setting up its environment really makes me look forward to every episode. And with its wonderful atmosphere comes with, I think, really good character interactions. The core of the show is, of course, Ayase Saki, a flashy girl who is the same age as Yuta. Okay, I understand that in anime, the stepsister thing is a common trope. They're even the same age and all. But I think these factors are very important, at least for the story in particular. We more or less follow them in Yuta's perspective. We get a glimpse of Yuta's seemingly normal life, when suddenly someone the complete opposite of him becomes a part of his family. Days with My Stepsister lies on the motif of not judging a book by its cover, to not make superficial assumptions. And what I like about the anime is how they both fail in this regard, especially Saki. I really wish it wasn't just tagged as romance because it's just so much more than that. It's a story about growth and self-discovery. Saki is a very questionable person, but it becomes more interesting, to me at least, when you take into account that her and Yuta are the same age. She feels completely foreign, not just because of her appearance, but basically everything about her. Why does she think that? Why does she say those things? What was her upbringing like? How did she end up like this? Through Yuta's eyes and ours, these are the questions that will pop up whenever Saki is present. It's not a question of ridicule, but curiosity. The vibe she gives off, along with her lax demeanor, entices me with her character. Like, she really believes the things she says are correct. Yuta's role is not necessarily to fix that, but at least making her realize that what she thinks is not always the end-all be-all. I'm really loving this anime so far. The super slow pace, the mellowed down, relaxing dialogue, and the soundtrack really helps the viewer level with the show. It brings us to the environment they're in, and I just feel like I'm levitating every time I watch this. As of recording, there's currently 5 episodes out, and I hope it keeps the same feel all throughout the show. I haven't read the source material for this, which is a light novel and the YouTube video.
おかえり、お兄ちゃん。
What the fuck? I wouldn't say this show is completely atypical, and obviously, slice of life animes are booming this season. But this type of atmosphere is just something that's not often represented anymore. Animes really need that wow factor to reel the audience in these days, and Days with My Stepsister has been the exact opposite. Its only hook is the pretty anime girl and the title, but something like that isn't gonna keep me watching unless there's just more to it. My favorite scenes so far are undoubtedly these long and drawn out scenes, namely the post-credit scene of episode 1. It's a solid 45 seconds of Saki trying to close the lights. That's it. She fails like a few times, but eventually closes all of them. It's a little silly scene cementing that she is indeed living in a new place. There's really nothing else to it. But I still love it so much because the scene is just so damn long. These kinds of scenes happen quite a bit, and I think it's another great way of showing what Days with My Stepsister is supposed to be. And again, I hope it manages to keep the vibe all throughout the course of its release. I waited until more episodes came out before I started writing this just to see if what I felt about the show was actually correct. And so far, what I've been saying still holds true throughout the course of its release. If you've made it this far into the video and I managed to convince you, if it wasn't super obvious enough, I highly recommend you to give it a try. I've been looking for something like this to watch, and I didn't even know until I managed to stumble upon it. I hope it gives you an experience similar to mine, and I hope you'll be just as relaxed as I am.